This is Channel 11, WPIX New York, a Tribune broadcasting station. This program may include content objectionable to certain individuals. Viewer discretion is advised.
Okay, this video is going to be about 5 TV commercials from 1993, but it's going to take me a few minutes to set this up, so bear with me. As many of you know, I collect old TV recordings on VHS. It has been my thing for like 20 years now. Most of them kind of blur together, but sometimes I get a tape that affects me very deeply, like the one we're going to talk about today. So this is a copy of The Exorcist from September of 1993, as it originally aired on WPIX. See, it says Exorcist right on it. And the reason this is so special to me is because that is exactly how I originally saw that movie. I was watching that night in September of 93. I was in high school at the time, so while I can't say that the film completely destroyed me, I did sleep with the lights on for a week or so.
You know what she did?
Now, let me tell you a little bit about WPIX in case you haven't read the 13,000 articles I've written about it. That was, and still is, a New York-based TV station. God, I just watched it constantly as a kid. Obviously, not all of you grew up with WPIX, but if you're anywhere near my age, I am fairly certain that you had a network that was similar to it.
This is Channel 11.
As a kid, this was home base for me. WPIX was where I watched the Disney Afternoon, Ninja Turtles cartoons, random sitcom reruns, syndicated shows like Star Trek The Next Generation, and lots of movies.
The Kiss, Thursday at 8 on Channel 11.
WPIX ran movies almost every single night at 8 o'clock sharp, and included in that mix was a metric ton of horror movies.
If you enjoy being really scared,
this network was how I saw some all-time classics like Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Friday the 13th Part 4. I guess you could say that WPIX made me into a horror fan.
You looking for me?
Elvira, mistress of the dark.
So this was a regular TV station, right? This wasn't cable. This was broadcast television. You were just a few channels away from CBS, ABC, NBC, and all the rest. So with that, you would assume that WPIX would completely sanitize these movies, just strip them bare of anything that was too violent, too gory, too adult, too naked. And I guess they kind of did, but the truth was a little more complicated than that. So they did trim out the nudity and the sex and the worst of the gore and the curse words and stuff like that, but it definitely wasn't to the level that you would have expected from, say, NBC. And in the case of The Exorcist, beyond shortening a few of the grossest shots and dropping a line or two, they really didn't cut a whole lot. So imagine this. You're a kid. WPIX is your safe haven. This is where you watch cartoons, Growing Pains reruns, whatever. It's Thursday night, say like 9:30 or so. You flip over to that channel. What do you see? A freaking possessed demon girl vomiting on a priest. And my God, it was pretty affecting. I can't lie. I have a million stories about watching these movies on WPIX as a kid and the nightmares that came with them. It was a time. So with that incredibly long preamble out of the way, we can now go into the meat of this video. This isn't just a recording that happened to be from WPIX. This is the complete broadcast, meaning it has all of the original TV commercials that aired during The Exorcist on that night in September of 1993. And believe me, that is where the money is. Watching an old TV edit of a movie might spark a few memories, but it's really the commercials that send you right back.
A pre-berry cherry fudge sundae with every super milk sandwich.
So I went through this tape and I yanked out 5 TV commercials that just screamed 1993. And in this video, I'm going to show you each of them and then tell you a little bit about what they were advertising. And I guess we'll start with Richard Lewis trying to pitch us adult juice boxes.
The Exorcist, starring Linda Blair and Ellen Burstyn, will return in a moment.
So I go to a party and I got my choice of Coke or Pepsi. This isn't right. I want a Boku, a 7-fruit blend Boku. I mean, all this carbonation is very unsettling. I don't want to belch anymore. Belching is for babies. I want to be refreshed naturally, calmly. I mean, it's my undeniable right as a man of the 90s to quench my thirst in my own way. I want a Boku. I've had it. People invite me to a party, I'm bringing my own Boku.
Boku fruit juice cooler from McCain.
Is that too much to ask?
All right, Boku. Boku was a line of adult-targeted juice boxes, and you knew they were for adults because they didn't come with straws. I guess the thought was that only children used straws. I don't know. They also had pretty mature flavors, stuff that you wouldn't find in a kid-targeted juice box. I know my favorite was white grape, and I think there were a few others too. So Boku is mostly remembered for the weird commercials, but I was actually a huge fan of this stuff as a kid. I used to ride my bike up to the corner store and load up my handlebar crate with Boku juice boxes and Little Debbie snack cakes. It's like the perfect mix. Or at least it was until all the kids at school realized that my name rhymed with fat. The irony with Boku is that no matter how hard they tried to pitch it to adults, I got to imagine that kids were still 95% of the clientele. In the end, a juice box is a juice box, even if it doesn't have a straw. All right, let's look at the second commercial now. This is a TV spot for the 1993 thriller, The Good Son. I didn't mean to yell The Good Son just now. It just kind of happened.
Channel 11's 8 o'clock movie will return after these messages.
From the director of Sleeping with the Enemy.
Dad, you've got to come back here.
What's wrong?
It's Henry. He's been doing things, terrible things. Targeting. He's really evil.
Macaulay Culkin, the most unexpected thriller of the year.
I'll let you go. You think you could fly?
The Good Son, rated R. Starts Friday, September 24th at theaters everywhere.
You know, I very rarely see anyone talk about this movie these days, but I still really like The Good Son. If you have never seen it, it is a thriller. As I said earlier, it stars Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood. Macaulay Culkin is this like psychopathic, murderous 10-year-old or whatever, and Elijah Wood is his good-natured cousin, or at least I think he was his cousin. They're related. So I guess the pitch for the movie was essentially, hey, do you remember the cute kid from Home Alone? Well, come see him act like Chucky. I think one of the reasons that this movie holds up so well for me is that they treated it very seriously. Like, if The Good Son was made today, you would assume it would be either a straight-up black comedy or just an on-the-nose, low-rent horror movie. But here they're presenting this absurd concept of a murdering child like it's Cape Fear or something.
Hey, Mark. Don't with me.
Very, very solid film. Check it out if you get a chance. Okay, now it's time for the third commercial. This one is for one of my all-time favorite discontinued cereals. Even though it did not have marshmallows or bright colors or ties to any of my favorite cartoon characters. This is a commercial for Tripple's cereal.
It's coming. The new improved taste of Triple cereal. A taste that's so much bigger, you can't help but notice. A taste that's better, because those crisps are bigger, crispier, and tastier than ever before. But we don't want you to take our word for it, so we're sending out millions of samples to prove it. Which means we had to squeeze a big new taste into a little box. Try new improved Triples today. Bigger, better taste.
So in shape and scope, triple cereal was somewhere between Rice Krispies and Quaker puffed rice. The name highlighted the three main ingredients, which, if I remember correctly, were rice, wheat, and corn. This seems like a boring cereal, I know. Doesn't seem like the kind of thing a kid would be into when he had Cinnamon Toast Crunch at his disposal. But the thing about triples is that it was just like sneaky good. It apparently did not have a lot of sugar, but it sure tasted like it did. And it was one of those cereals that you could just endlessly eat right out of the box. Like you would just dive in there and you wouldn't stop until you hit crumbs. I mean, if me as a 13-year-old was picking triples over Lucky Charms and whatever else, you know there had to be something special about it. Really miss that cereal. I wish they would bring it back. All right, that was the third commercial. Now we're going to move on to number 4. This is going to seem like such old tech by today's standards, but I promise you, in the early 90s, it was like amazing. This is a TV commercial for Star 69.
Channel 11's 8 o'clock movie will return after these messages.
Not in time. Press star 69 and get back that call you missed.
Hi, it's Ann. You called?
Call return, 75 cents per use, plus cost of call.
Nah, I was just washing. George.
Not in time. Press star 69. Call return from New York Telephone.
To be honest, I don't even know if Star 69 is still a thing. In case it's not, I will explain. So if you missed a call or if you just wanted to find out who called you last, you would dial Star 69 and it would tell you their digits. Seems totally preposterous by 2022 standards, but I cannot overemphasize what a miracle it was in the early 90s. Like, I know for me, if I had to do some family thing at a crucial time, I would always dial Star 69 as soon as I got home to see if any of my friends called.
Or AMPS for short.
And, you know, spoiler, they usually didn't, but I had to know for sure. It became such a routine for me that I always dreaded the phone bill coming in because I knew I was going to get screamed at. I wasn't just calling Star 69 like twice or 3 times a month. I was doing it 20, 30, sometimes 40 times a month. So yeah, mom was pissed back then. I should also mention that at least for a while, Star 69 kind of put a bullet in prank calling because obviously if you thought your victim was going to be able to get your number, you were a little more hesitant to call them. God, it's so weird how much technology has changed. Like, now, if you just ignored your phone for an entire week, you would still have a complete log of everyone who called you. Times have changed. All right, that was commercial number 4. Now we're up to the final spot. This is for a, I guess, lesser-known discontinued junk food. Get a load of Betty Crocker's Fundamentals.
The Exorcist, starring Linda Blair and Ellen Burstyn, will return in a moment.
Amazing. These new fundamentals. They've taken good old Graham and given it a makeover. Outside, it's the crunchy Graham shell. In the middle, chocolate, vanilla, or peanut butter cream. But those combinations, what kid could argue? Don't answer. Whoever came up with fundamentals, I'd like to kiss them. What?
New fundamentals. Good old Graham made fun.
Yeah, fundamentals. I guess that was a pun on fundamentals. Boy, God, give me the nerve of the person who marched straight up to Betty Crocker and pitched fundamentals and actually got her to sign off on that. That is incredible. Fundamentals. So this was a collection of snacks that, boy, how do I describe these? The shells were essentially elongated pieces of Chex, and each was filled with a different flavor of cream, like chocolate and peanut butter and vanilla. I guess you could kind of consider them the dessert version of combos. Just incredibly 90s in every which way. even down to this like weird teal color on the box, which is just like something that was invented in 1993 and hasn't been used since then. Fundamentals, the perfect thing to devour on a Thursday night when you're watching this terrible movie about this poor little girl who's possessed by a demon.
Let the enemy have no power over her.
And the son of the liquid be powerless to harm her. Your mother's still rotten.
You know, at the time, watching these scary movies on broadcast television, it was just the thing I did. It was just a way for a bored kid to pass the time, right? I'm in my bedroom, I'm watching The Exorcist on my broken hand-me-down television with the busted knobs. Only in retrospect can I appreciate how much those experiences shaped me. And clearly they did, because here I am talking about them 3 decades later. So I might do more videos like this in the future because, like I said earlier, I have a lot of tapes like this, and I'm always down to go rummaging through old VHS tapes looking for fundamentals, commercials, and whatever else. Love it. It's always a blast. In the meantime, check the description of this video because I've written a bunch of articles on this subject and I've done a few podcasts on it as well. If you want to check those out, I will be back soon with another video. If you dug this one, make sure that you hit the like button, drop a comment, share it around. All of that stuff really, really helps, believe me. And hopefully see you guys very, very soon. Take care.